Welcome to the team briefing for the 2015 Pacific Northwest District FRC Championship, sponsored by Autodesk. Yes, indeed, that is the official title that first insisted on. Love them to death, but my God, they like a lot their syllables. So,
Kevin,
yeah?
you might want to show your screen. I'm not seeing your screen
Oh,
yet.
it's not there? Oh, how embarrassing.
No. So nobody can see the lovely, really long name.
Oh, and I just showed you the wrong screen. Let me try this one. There
you
it
go.
is. Yay! So the 2015 Pacific Northwest District FRC Championship, sponsored by Autodesk. And of course, as always, thank you so much to Autodesk for helping to underwrite this whole thing. This is an enormous event for them, and they are really proud supporters and longtime proud supporters of FIRST, and we appreciate everything that they do for us and all of our teams. Okay, so you've all been to one of these before, but just your microphone's off by default. If you need to ask a question, type in the question box. We will sometimes summarize questions that are similar into one group. And the slides and recording of this presentation will be on pnwfirst.org. The website is currently down. We are aware of that. Apparently there's some problem at the data center. It's like in Texas or something. They are working on it, so it should be up here pretty soon. So the overview for tonight, we're going to try and keep this as short as possible. We've left out, you've all been to events before, so we've left out all of the newbie information about going to events. I'm going to talk a little bit about my prediction of where the teams are going to, what teams are going to be going to the event. We're going to talk about the general logistics of going to Cheney, load in, load out sort of stuff. We have some information about a team social that's happening on Friday, and then we're going to talk a bit about what you're going to need to consider to progress to the championships in St. Louis. Hopefully we can get out of here actually pretty quickly tonight. Here's the $64,000 question: is my team actually going to make it to World Championships? And that is just it's a stunning and stellar question to ask. We are currently expecting, based on my prediction, at 58 points, ranking points is probably going to be on the lowest end. There have been other statistical models that have shown 62. I'm being really conservative just to make sure everybody who's in the upper 50s realizes that you are a completely viable candidate for going to this thing. We have a number of teams who have not played their second event yet, but it should be somewhere in the 58 to 62 range at this point. Teams did really well last week, and it wasn't the same winners as always, so or the same high-ranked teams as always. So we had a lot of teams pick up a lot of points over the last week. If you are interested in finding that, if I can click on it, right? If you're interested in checking out those rankings, you can find them up on the US First website, and it's supposed to let me slide that over. I apologize, I'm using Internet Explorer. I weep for my former employer at times. There we go. Come on, Explorer. There you go. Here is our current list of rankings. Congratulations to the Skunks, Shockwave, and Issaquah for being the top 3. Dragons are right up there. So you guys, everybody is actually doing very, very well. Really, honestly, the meat of the discussion is down here around the 58 area. Left is the actual district ranking where you rank on the right side of the points. It just so happens that 58 also turns out to be about the ranking number, and the points are very, very similar in range. So I'm expecting the cutoff point to be somewhere around the 57, 58 on the rankings, which when you add in the next points that are coming up should be in the 58 to 60 range in terms of points. That's our guess. Now, it is entirely possible that some teams will opt not to go to the Pacific Northwest District Championship. So we may end up going down a little bit farther than 58, but that's kind of where we are at the moment. Okay. You can see as you scroll down here, there are quite a few very respectable teams that have not played their second round. So that's, for the most part, I've taken all of that into account, and I'm kind of laying down my best guess at where that number is. Very scientific. So if you can see the website up here, it's frc-districtrankings.usfirst.org. /PNW. You can check out the rankings up there. You should be also, let's go pick on the skunks for a minute, because they're up at the top. So if you were to pick one of the teams like the Skunk Works and click on them, it should bring up the stats for that specific team. So if your team is looking to do a little bit of pre-scouting, this is actually a pretty good way to check things out. This was actually, by the way, this entire website was written by volunteers from the Pacific Northwest District last year. First has now adopted it as the official district point ranking system. So thanks a lot to Alex Herride and Paul Malmsteen for doing that. Yay us, look at us contribute to the world. Okay, so that's where you can go find where you are ranked if you haven't done so already. Okay, let me see if I can find... I apologize, I'm on one of our wimpy, on our wimpy thing. Oh, Cynthia has asked a very great question. What time on the 28th will rankings be posted? I believe this is updated real time, as in within 10 minutes. So the reality is that you will find out on the 28th pretty much during award ceremony. We'll have the rankings available for people to look at.
Now, Kevin, one question: when are the awards? When is the awards portion of that updated?
I believe it is updated by the scorekeeper real time.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
That is correct.
That is correct, Susan?
Yes. The scorekeeper is putting in the numbers as they are being called on the slides.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and in case you're wondering, that was Adrian Rimey, well, basically our program manager. Our volunteer coordinator is Susan Martucci. They're also on the line to answer questions with me. So, forgot to say hello to them. All right. So, I think my team's going. Now what? There is a registration fee that needs to be paid. I want to be very clear and upfront, as opposed to the registration fee for the participating in the district. PNW FRC and Washington FRC Robotics are not involved with the collection of the district championship registration fee. That is that is a US FRC collected fee. So you won't be paying us. You will be paying US FRC this time. If you believe that you are going to be going, I really recommend that you start getting a PO worked up. They will not charge the PO unless you end up being eligible to go, but this will save you some time and hassle during the week of for the week. Well, for next Monday. That's what I'm trying to spit out. There's a lot of stuff going on. The registration fee is $4,000. That is the same for all of the districts. And if you wanted to get a purchase order started, you can send a purchase order. You can either email it to ar@usfirst.org, accounts receivable, or you can fax it to them. You can also get a letter of commitment from a sponsor, which means like if it's somebody who is stepping up, they can send a letter on their letterhead. They won't accept one from the school, so it has to be a letter of commitment from like Autodesk or Boeing or Microsoft or somebody else who's agreeing to take on financial responsibility for the $4,000, and that can also be sent in lieu of a PO. If you're planning on paying with a credit card or debit card, that will be available to you once your team is actually officially registered. That should happen on Monday the 30th. First, we'll contact your team directly. We will not be involved with that. We are sort of I don't want to say innocent bystanders, but the Washington First Robotics and Pacific Northwest First staff are sort of watching on the sidelines. If you have hassles and feel like you're not exactly sure whether things are going to get resolved or not with First, your first bet is to contact FRC teams at usfirst.org or calling First on the phone. They're actually very helpful people, and you can call them during the day. They close at 5 Eastern, so you'll have to do it before 2 o'clock our time. Call them and see what you can work out with them in terms of getting your questions answered. If you get stuck or if something has gone wonky, please let me know, Kevin Arrow at firstwa.org. I'll be watching my email that day, and I will attempt to help you.
And Kevin, Lori says that she thinks that finance is staying open late that day, but when I get confirmation of that, I will make sure that I alert our team so they know. I think they're trying to stay open till 5 our time, but I don't have confirmation on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
As we know more, we will pass that on to you guys.
Yeah, we'll make sure to pass that along. You also have a question about some Boeing funds.
On the registration fee, we heard that there may be some restrictions on your funds if you have a Boeing grant. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know that, but it turns out we're about to put our dear friend and colleague, Mr. Darren G., on the spot. Darren, I'm about to unmute you, so go ahead and swallow or do whatever it is. You're probably eating dinner right now. Darren, you got a microphone?
Yeah, I do.
So what do you know? Are there restrictions on the funds if you have a Boeing grant? Do you know anything about that?
No, not that I know of. If money hasn't been used and it's at First, then I believe they could use. I can double check. I can call my colleagues tomorrow.
Okay.
To confirm that.
I think that Darren is correct. I think that if you have surplus from a Boeing grant in your account with US First, my belief is that they will apply that surplus to your account and you'll be allowed to use that. So Darren, I believe that's the case. If you don't mind checking for me, if you hear differently, we will let everybody know.
Yep, I can do that.
Okay. And Erin is here too. And Erin just said the exact same thing I said, which is she's pretty sure that she can do that. Hey, Erin, I'm going to unmute you and let you mute and unmute yourself. Already? Yeah, there you are. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think that there are a couple of teams in the district that do have surplus, and they should be able to access those funds from Boeing.
Yep.
Through US First.
Okay. So both Darren and Erin, you guys can mute yourself. Andy Gephardt is pointing out that, he's wondering if somebody might be asking about restrictions on use of Boeing matching funds. Actually, Cynthia specifically asked about the grant. I don't believe there are restrictions on. We receive a lot of Boeing matching funds on behalf of the teams, and to the best of my knowledge, there are no restrictions on the use of that money, other than you have to use it for your team. Okay. Cynthia's heard it both ways from First. I would be highly, highly surprised if they didn't credit your account for whatever's left. Hopefully that answers your question. Honestly, if you are concerned about that, I would definitely call US First and ask for the finance department and let them explain it to you. Again, I'm giving you, and all of us are giving you what we understand third hand. They are actually the definitive source of information for that. Okay, so let us continue on. Now, First will automatically register, or will automatically invite and register your team. The process for that changes a little bit every year, but basically you will get notified by US First that you are eligible to participate. Once that happens, you'll be able to log into your TIMS account, and if you would like to pay using a credit or debit card, I believe you'll be able to do so once you've been notified that your team has been successfully, I guess, registered for the Pacific Northwest District Championship. If it's the case that you have registered for that you qualified for the championship and you're notified by FIRST, but you don't intend to go, we would very much appreciate it if you could contact FIRST as soon as you can. And I'd actually really appreciate it if you would copy me, kevinro@firstwa.org, on an email that you're sending stating that you're going to decline. If you decline, what will happen is the next team in line in rankings will shift up into your position. So we would like, it'd be very gracious and professional for you to make that decision as soon as you possibly can. Notify us as soon as you can so we can give the team who's moving up a little bit of notice about what's going on. Okay? All right, I think I beat that horse to death. Any other questions on that? All right. So now let's talk a little bit about the logistics about the event in specific. Before you arrive, if you're going to the Pacific Northwest District Championship, we need you to go visit your favorite RSVP website. I was going to put the link on here, but again, our website's been down all afternoon. So go to PNWFirst.org and find the RSVP for the event page, and I will send out an email as soon as it's up with the link in it. We'd like you to tell us whether you need a pit table, how many students you think you're bringing, how many mentors you think you're bringing, and we really would like to get a mobile phone number for whoever's going to be in charge of your team on site. If you could do that as soon as you believe that you're that you know that you're going. We know our Chairman's Award teams are going. We know that there are basically if you've got over like 70 points, go ahead and fill in that form. We'd appreciate it. We'll get that out of the way so that you don't have to deal with it during the rush of things. And again, I apologize. Our website is still down, so I was unable to get at the link for it. Okay. A reminder: there is no robot access period for the Pacific Northwest District Championship. So please don't plan on opening your bag. You're not allowed to open the bag to your robot. You will have time in the pits on Wednesday night. You'll have time on the pits on Thursday. So you can still have your 30 pounds of workable parts, but you are not allowed to open your robot bag until you have arrived and have been given the okay to unbag. You get a sheet from the robot inspectors, okay? The other really important thing is your robot must stay at the venue during the event. So you're not allowed to come to the event and then take your robot home to work on it. And you're also not allowed to say, oh, it's 5 o'clock, I can unbag my robot here at my own shop and work on it until 8 or 9 at night, okay? So you're not allowed to do that at this event. In fact, you're actually not allowed to do that all year long. So we had a couple of issues with teams doing that this year. So we really appreciate your help with that, and it is in the rules, okay? Hopefully that made sense to everybody. So the schedule overview for the entire event, you're going on Wednesday, April 1st, you'll be arriving and going through inspection. We're not going to belabor all of the minutia of this. It's very similar to what you've already done twice or 3 times, so you guys know the drill on this. Pits will open they'll stay open until I think at 9 or so. I'll show you the schedule here in a sec. On Thursday, pits open at 8 a.m. We're going to continue with inspections. We'll have some practice rounds in mid-morning. The qualification matches start on Thursday afternoon. Okay, so you are expected to be there to compete on Thursday. Friday, qualification matches all day long. Saturday, we'll have a couple of qualification matches in the morning and then do the final rounds in the afternoon. The gory details of the schedule, I apologize, this might be a little small to read, but it basically just summarizes what I told you. So there you go. Pits are open from 5 to 9 on Wednesday. Now, we are expecting to see you on Wednesday, so and I'm going to belabor this a couple more times, so please plan on showing up on Wednesday. It's very important to us that you do that. If you can't, we have a process for you to follow, okay? If your robot has to arrive on Thursday morning, there is a late load in. It'll happen about 7:45. You can load in on Thursday morning, but we'd like to know about it up front. Pits open at 8, pits close at 8, and you can pretty much guess what the rest of the day's got. It's going to be just like our other events. Friday, pits open at 8, opening ceremony is 8:30, and we're going to run all day. The pits close at 7. Saturday, again, open at 8. We'll probably finish, I'm hoping we finish actually a little bit early on Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised if we do finish a little early. We're starting to get the hang of this game, and we've gotten the cycle times down quite a ways. So there are, in case you're wondering, there are 64 teams at this event. So you will find, as opposed to the district events, which are about half that size, you'll have basically twice as much time between rounds in general. So it should be a nice, luxurious day. Okay? How am I doing? We got, when is the drive team meeting? Great question. My guess is it's going to be on Thursday morning. Adrian, have we scheduled down to that particular?
We haven't scheduled that yet. We need to speak with our head ref, our FTA, and our lead queuer. And we're still working on assignments at this point in time. So when we do know that, we will make sure that the teams are aware.
I almost guarantee you it's going to be at some point on Thursday morning.
It's going to be on Thursday. It won't be on Wednesday like we've been doing, this year where we've had it on day one. It'll be on Thursday, and my guess is
Yes,
it'll be probably around 9 in the morning. It's usually.
Yeah, this is Susan. We don't have all of our key volunteers there on Wednesday night, so it will be Thursday morning.
All right. Yay.
And it will be before the practice field opens at 10. They won't close the practice field to have that meeting.
All right. So where is the event? Cheney, Washington is just southwest of Spokane. It's about 20 minutes out of Spokane. It is where Eastern Washington University is. It's a lovely campus. They've been very gracious hosts to us for many years. We know the event venue nicely, and it'll be a good time. So it is a drive for some of us. It's a real drive for some of our Oregon friends. We understand that. But it is a very, very good venue for us to be in. So that is generally where it is on the map. This is where we are competing. This is called Reese Court. I'm see if my mouse will go over here. We are going to be in the building in the upper right-hand side. Is Reese Court itself? It's a basketball venue. And it's a nice facility. There's plenty of seating, and it'll be great. The pits will be in this long field house over here on the left. These buildings are connected indoors. It's under this courtyard here, so there's a tunnel between the two, or a hallway between the two. And so it's proven to be a really nice venue. We very much like it. So. Steve, we're going to get to your question here in just a couple of slides. All right. So logistics about parking and buses. Reese Court has this large parking lot. Up here is P12. The parking is free for us. Thank you to the university for making that lot free for us for the day. If you are arriving in buses, the bus drop-off is going to be right down here on Washington Street. The parking lot in front of the football stadium here is a little bit tight to be pulling buses in and out of. So we highly recommend that if you're going to do a bus drop, you do it down here on Washington Street. It really isn't that far of a walk into the venue. All right. Any questions about that? Pretty straightforward. So there is bus parking available. Bus parking is in parking lot P18. And by the way, in case you're wondering, yes, the copies of these slides will be available up on the PNW FRC website, in case you don't need to frantically write all this stuff down. But the university was very gracious in providing us somewhere to park some buses. Food logistics. The concessions will be open Thursday through Saturday. There are sack lunches available. The details, again, we were planning on posting all this stuff today, and we apologize about that. We will get the details up, and I will send out an email when our website is updated with all this information. Nearby food, the Public Union Building, which is basically just across the street, about a building over, is available. They have, standard sort of cafeteria food, and there's a food court in the rec center, which is also across the way. You are allowed to bring your own food to this event. We're trying not to have coolers in the stands or on the hardwood, so I don't think they're allowing coolers into the building at this point. All right. They'd actually like you to eat in the pit or in the seats rather than out in the pits. And please clean up after yourself, and watch out. The coefficient of friction of an upside down piece of pizza is really low, so it's not an engineering project we'd prefer to repeat. So if you guys manage to spill something, please clean up after yourself. It keeps the expenses down. In general, first teams are amazing at following this, and all of these buildings have let us get away with a very skeleton custodial crew. If we start breaking that rule, they're going to start charging us more, and we will have to start charging you more. So that's no fun. All right. Adrian was just pointing out there's a couple of questions about motorhomes. Can motorhomes park with the buses? We believe so. And trailers should also park in lot P18. It's a pretty big lot down there. You can also, I'm going to skip back a few slides. If I can find my mouse, there it is. Come on, slides. You can also, by the way, park trailers at the very back, in this back upper corner of lot P12. It's pretty generous up there, and you should be able to park a trailer up there as well. I don't know if I'd spend the night up there, but I think P12 is probably where most of the towed trailers or small trailers parked last year. Okay. And back to lodging. There is some on-campus housing. It's in some dorm rooms that they have available. There's they would prefer that you send an email. So wmeyer@ewu.edu, and she will send you the information and work with you to reserve rooms for that. It's a pretty good option for if you don't mind a absolutely no frills experience. The Red Lion Inn has cut us a group code. Again, the details will be on the PacificNorthwestFirst.org site when it comes back up. But the rooms are actually fairly inexpensive. They have 2 locations. I think the room rate was it like $119 and $129, Adrian? Do you remember?
Sorry, I was muted. That is correct. Yeah. Those were the rates. So they're really taking care of us. Yeah.
So and Red Lion has really kind of stepped up to be one of our sponsors this year, and we very much appreciate their help in setting that up. There are a number of other hotels in the area. Sorry, I just got the last room at the Holiday Inn Express down the street, so you'll have to go somewhere else. Chelsea and Jansen are staying there now, and I think they are now officially out of rooms. But there are a bunch of other hotels in the area. The most common place for a lot of the teams to stay is actually up towards the airport. It's about a 15-20-minute drive. It's not bad. It's an easy drive. There's no traffic or anything, and there's more services up there anyway for the teams. Okay. If we release rooms because we don't get in, would you like the info to share with other teams? That would be lovely if you could do that for us, Cynthia. And in fact, any of the teams, if you know that you're releasing a block of rooms, send an email to Adrian. That was easy. No work on my part.
Yeah, thanks.
And then we'll end up putting out that list together, and we'll let the other teams know that there may be some rooms available.
And I just want to point out, Bradley Nelson is saying they let us leave trailers in P18 for the weekend in previous years. Is P18 the main lot up above?
No, that's P12.
Kevin?
P18 is
Okay.
Oh, and let me make sure I don't get this detail wrong. Yeah, P12 is up above. P18 is down by the red barn down the street. Do you remember that?
Okay, and I guess it's more maybe what we can do is we should include when we update this a map showing exactly where P18 is so the teams know.
Okay. Sounds good. Sally Wells has just pointed out she believes that the housing is full at EWU dorms. That is entirely possible. They didn't have a whole lot of them, and I know that some teams were already checking with them. So we'll check that out. There, if you do end up parking at one of the farther away parking lots, there are a couple of them. There will be shuttles, a free shuttle that you can jump on, and we will shuttle you around a little bit. Or I should say that the university is very graciously going to shuttle us around. I don't know if Aaron, do you know any more? Are the details about hours for that available? Do you know, or anything like that?
I don't know about the shuttles for EWU, but for Red Lion, if you stay at any of their properties in downtown Spokane, they will provide free shuttle service back and forth to the event, which is kind of a good deal.
Yeah, wow, that's a great deal. Yeah, Red Lion, like I said, Red Lion's just been awesome. They're really behind us, and so yeah, having free shuttle service, and they have little senior citizen style buses. That's not the right way to put it, but the smaller buses, shuttle buses. So that's awesome if they'll tote us around. Okay. Hey, once you start getting into Spokane, there are lots of hotel options available to you. I think wherever you find yourself staying is just fine. Dale's pointing out that there's quite a bit of space at one of the convention center hotels. So yeah, that works as well. They probably don't have the free shuttles like the Red Lion does, so something to think about. Okay, I think we've probably belabored that one to death, so let me move on to pit power. We are on generators again at this event. It's the standard spiel you've been dealing with all year. I think nobody's had real problems with the pit power. But we are on compressors, and we will be turning the compressor off overnight. So keep that in mind. And also, please don't plug things in the gymnasium. Our circuiting needs are being met by a plan. We have a plan for how to use the power in the room, and if you come running up and start plugging in things randomly, you're going to mess up our plans. So please don't do that. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about load-in night. Wednesday from 5 to 9. Now, we really do expect to see your team at some point on Wednesday. It helps the inspectors. There's a lot of people who are watching for your teams. We have 64 teams to deal with. We'd really, really appreciate it if you could show up Wednesday. If you're not going to be there, and we realize that things get in the way, or there may be scheduling conflicts or long drives involved, if you don't believe that you're going to be able to make it on Wednesday evening, please email Adrian Rimey, arimey@firstwa.org, and let us know so we don't worry. It's not that we necessarily worry, but we're never quite sure if some teams are going to show up or not. There are many, many check boxes for us to go through to run a large event like this, and you can actually cause us a great deal of grief and stress if you don't show up on Wednesday when we were expecting you. If for some reason you are unexpectedly late, and are unable to arrive Wednesday, you can call Adrian. That's her phone number right there, 206-795-5444. 5775. Give her a buzz, let her know your team number and what your expected time of arrival is, okay? Aside from that, everybody else, we're hoping you can get there between 5 and 9. As always, it is the pits. You have to have your safety glasses on your head at all times. It is mandatory. I have gotten myself kicked out for not having my safety glasses, so you can be darn sure we'll kick you out too. Please follow the instructions from the on-site staff during load-in, well, at all times, but I mean during load-in, we're going to be wrangling a whole bunch of teams in a short amount of time. You may not park in the loading area. Please make provisions to be able to unload your stuff and have a driver take your vehicle away. Every year somebody ends up parking and running in for just a sec and ends up getting sidetracked, and we have to move people around your vehicle. Don't be that guy. Thanks, appreciate it. Be sure to bring a cart. You do have a long stretch to go from the load-in area to where your pits are. So if heavy things should be put on a cart. And as always, we really need you to have at least 3-inch diameter wheels. Heads up to all teams, we were probably going to switch to 4-inch wheels next year. 3-inch wheels turn out just to be not enough to get over our cable protection bumps. So, and as always, first stop of your robot is inspection, just like all the other events you've been to, all right? This is where the pits are. So you're going to be coming down Washington Street, and you're going to hang a right up this long driveway, and there's going to be an unloading area right there. And there's room for about 6 or 8 vehicles up there. So keep in mind this is relatively tight quarters, so if you're thinking about bringing a 40-foot truck, you've made a mistake. That occasionally happens. Somebody shows up with a big hurricane thing. So you're going to unload. You'll go through this door here. Pits will be sort of on this end over here, and the machine shop, the practice fields, and those sorts of things all be in there. When you are done dropping, you're going to actually go up and follow this road up and around. I apologize, I forgot to put the other arrow, but we'll be directing you where to go. So you are going to drive through, and we'll actually have you take a right and go up this little hill over here. So that's the basic plan for getting through the loadout area. There's quite a bit of room for a queue here. We will be there relatively late in university terms, so there actually is sort of an on-street, I don't want to call it a parking area, but you could probably queue yourselves up. I highly recommend that you queue yourselves up on the street so that you're going to make a right-hand turn. In fact, actually, let's make that our convention, will you? Plan on taking a right-hand turn off of Washington Street to get in up there. That way we can keep everybody in line and in a queue in an orderly fashion. Appreciate that. Rod is asking, we will have a robot and a pit in our charter bus. How should we handle unload? That is a great question, Rod. I'm assuming that everything that you're going to bring is on a cart. Probably the best way to unload the bus, and I'm going to allow Adrienne to jump in here in case she has a better idea, is probably to drop stuff right here on Washington Street, take the robot and stuff, and just walk it right up this ramp. It really isn't that far.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no reason students couldn't go in that way as well. Yeah. I mean, I think that that would be the best way to go about it.
This is a concrete sidewalk down here, so there is a right lane, sort of a right lane here, sort of a parking lane, and there's another one down here, so there should be room to unload your bus out there. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question. All right. Saturday loadout is basically the inverse of load in. Again, assemble all your stuff, make it all ready to go, then you can go get your vehicle, pull up into the loading area. You can load your stuff up and then go repark up in P12. For buses, you're going to do the inverse of how you came in. If you wish, you may load out during the elimination rounds or right after alliance selection. The pits will be open for that. So we appreciate your help in helping to load out safely and cleanly. And again, please don't pull your vehicle up, park, and then go take your pits down. We want you to pull in, load up, tie up safely, and then get out of there. All right. Very good. Hey, we're almost done. You've seen the wheel requirements. I'm not going to belabor these, but you really do need to make sure that you've got appropriate size wheels, especially on your robot cart. We are on a NCAA basketball court this time. If you thought refinishing a high school gym was expensive, this one is just incredibly outlandish. So please pay attention to the wheels on your carts, okay? And as always, your goal is to pass inspection on Wednesday and Thursday. We need you to pass inspection as soon as you can. It shouldn't be a problem. This is nobody's first event. You've all been through the rodeo before, so I won't belabor this too much. When you show up Wednesday starting at 5 p.m., we'd love to have your lead mentor come check in with the pit admin desk. That's one of the check boxes that we need to hit right away so that we know who is in the building. And as always, you need to bring your team roster printed from Tim's with handwritten additions if needed. You need to bring paper consent forms for any team members, students, or adults who aren't in Tim's or STEMS. You know the drill. You've played first before. All right. Who to bring on Wednesday? You really want to bring your drivers and your co-robot builders for Wednesday. And you don't need to bring your entire team. There isn't a whole lot of activity. We will still be setting up the field on Wednesday. It's not a good spectator day. But if your travel plans include bringing a big bus, they are all welcome. They're all welcome to sit in the stands, hang out in the pits, let them do first student things. I mean, we have a great crowd of people. So, but I wouldn't invite moms and dads to come sit and watch. It's going to be really boring on Wednesday. Machine shop opens at 5. As always, we don't loan out tools or any of those sorts of things. You guys have all seen the machine shop before. You've seen this slide before. Pretty straightforward, okay? Practice rounds at this event will be on Thursday. We expect to start them at 10 a.m. and run them to, I'm sorry, that should be 12:30 p.m. We do expect you to pass inspection before you run your practice match. We will have a first come, first serve queue. So you know the drill. You've done this before, so I won't belabor that. Okay? Now, on Friday, I forgot to put on Friday on here. I apologize about that. There will be a dance for the students on Friday after the event. It'll be from 7:30 till 10:30. The dress is sort of casual. It isn't. They called it a prom, but the reality is that they're not expecting you to come in a tux. You're welcome to. So it's sort of wear whatever they want to wear. This is being put on by Sodabots 2557. We are merely passing this along to you. It sounds like a lot of fun. Details and the ability to buy tickets is going to be on sodabots.com, and that is their website. Okay, I believe it is in the ballroom, and the ballroom's like, help me out, Adrian. Where's the ballroom?
You know what? I actually don't know. I will find out directions. I've been working with Dale on what rooms we're using, but I don't know where that room is in relation to where we are. I know it's close.
Yeah, I think it's probably across the street in the rec or pub center, somewhere over in that area. It's close.
Yeah, it's very nearby.
Yeah. So if you're looking for something to do with a bunch of now 20 teenagers, you're not sure what the heck to do with them, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. So I believe they're also planning food and stuff like that. Check out the website. They'll tell you the details. All right. I think here comes our next slide. Yes, Glenn, the Pacific PNWFirst.org is shut down at the moment. That we're working on getting it back. All right. You've qualified for St. Louis. Oh, crap, now what? So who advances? We are sending 3 chairman winners, or 3 chairman's teams. We are sending 2 engineering inspiration teams and 1 rookie all-star. The other teams that go are the 3 teams on the winning alliance, and then the next 22 highest ranking teams after all of the points have been awarded for the Pacific Northwest District Championship. So yay, there's 31 teams going. Woohoo!
And probably one thing to note, Kevin, is the winner of the Engineering Inspiration and Rookie All-Star teams go to compete.
Yes.
At St. Louis.
You are bringing your robots.
Even if you don't compete at the district championship, if you move on, you will compete with your robot in St. Louis.
So now I got the good news and I got the bad news. The good news is that you will be going to St. Louis. I hope that's everybody's goal. The more difficult news is how to get your robot there, and it has been stated many times by Frank, and it's actually in the rules that your robot needs to be shipped via FedEx to St. Louis, and that is provided for free. The maximum height of your crate is 72 inches. So I hope that you took that into design consideration when you built your robot, or if you're like my team, you realized, oh, well, if we get there, this is where we're going to cut the top of the robot off and how to reattach it. No, there are no exceptions being planned by FIRST that I'm aware of on extending the height of the crate. So this is something that you should have taken into consideration, and it's probably something that most of us didn't, based on the appearance of many of the robots that are doing extraordinarily well. So it's got to fit into that crate. You can look in the rules, you can see the dimensions of the crate, and also see all of the weight restrictions. Okay? I hope that that wasn't an enormous shock to you. The other thing that I will shock you with is if you haven't cut the top of your robot off, there is no out-of-bag time between the end of our event, our district championship, and when you put the robot in the crate. You have to leave the robot in the bag. So if this is going to be a surprise to you and you need to deal with it, it's a good thing to start thinking about, say, this week, and have some plan for dealing with it while you are still at Cheney. Okay? So, because that is kind of the only time that you're going to have to make that modification. It's not my rules. Don't yell at me about it.
Kevin, Robert has a comment. I don't completely understand it. Frank told us we could rebag before going into crate.
Okay. So that is news to me, Robert, and I'm not doubting you. You are obviously you follow these things very closely. If Frank has made a subsequent ruling, I'll be honest with you, I have been gone for at least a week, so I have not really kept up on it. So we will be following the rules that FIRST put into place. It was in the blog, he's saying. So if you guys want to check out Frank's blog, find out what the rules are for rebagging. I don't believe there's out-of-bag time allowed. I think you can rebag your robot, but it's not clear to me that you're allowed to work on it. But that was my original reading of the rules. You can rebag. That doesn't mean you can cut your robot in half, right? So rebagging is one thing. If you need to fix the bag or unbag it to bolt it into a crate or something, that's one thing. But I don't believe you're allowed to cut the robot in half. Okay, so there you go. Make plans for that, because we.
Well, and actually, while you're answering questions, we have a couple other ones. Matt Randall was asking if you're awarded both Engineering Inspiration and Chairman's at district's events, and we have a couple teams that have been. Is their team eligible for both at the district championship?
Yes, they are.
The answer is yes, although you only give your chairman's presentation because the Engineering Inspiration would be pit judging, so the judges would come around and talk with you in the pits.
Yep.
And then the next one is they're shipping from Cheney and or home.
So Brad's asking, Brad, I believe that you are asking, is FedEx paying for, okay, after the Cheney event, you will be taking your robot home in its bag, you will be putting it into a crate, and you will be shipping it from your home to St. Louis, and then from St. Louis back to your home. Does that make sense?
And there are directions as to how quickly you need to ship your robot and what you need to do. That should have come in your kit of parts. There also will be information on the US FIRST website, so you want to make sure you look at that and have your robot picked up within the parameters.
Okay. Joseph is asking about, can you please define Rookie All-Star? If you, we have two Rookie Awards, Rookie Inspiration and Rookie All-Star. The Rookie All-Star Award, if you were given that at one of our events, you will be eligible to go to Cheney and compete for the Rookie All-Star Award there. It is a very specific award, and the Rookie All-Star Award, that is all of the teams that were Rookie All-Stars will be evaluated one more time by the judges. The judges will pick one Rookie All-Star. That Rookie All-Star will be able to go with their robot to St. Louis to compete at the World Championships. So that is not the Rookie Inspiration Award. The Rookie Inspiration Award is a different award. So there are two Rookie Awards that we hand out. So Robert has pointed out that if you check out Frank's blogs, there are instructions on what you need to do if it's the case that you need to disassemble your robot to get it. It is a little bit too long of an answer for me to read. Please check out Frank's blog from March 18th. Thank you so much, Robert, for finding that for me. I very much appreciate it. So if your team is if your robot is too big to fit into a crate, you should definitely check out Frank's blog from March 18th to get updates on how you can prepare for that. Okay.
Dale Yoakum's question, by the way, about the FedEx shipping paperwork. My understanding is all the paperwork came in your kit of parts.
Yes.
I am not a coach and didn't receive one, but I have no paperwork for district championships for FedEx to give to the team.
Every team in their kit of parts got a plastic envelope, and in there was the FedEx shipping paperwork. So if you don't have that, find it. If you still don't have that, that is not something that Adrian or I can help you with. That will be something you'll need to talk to FRC teams at US FIRST about. Everybody should have gotten one. I know my team has one. I don't know whether you can transfer that bill of lading to another team or not. That would be an interesting thing to ask US FIRST, whether if you've lost yours, if you can grab one from another team who isn't going. That's an option, but I think you should probably check with US FIRST so that your robot doesn't end up quarantined somewhere in Kentucky or something. Okay? And Dale, yeah, like I said, we don't have those. That was something you were given at the beginning of the year. Okay. So, sorry, I just reread your same question. I'm an idiot. What can I say? All right. Who else did we miss up here?
I think we're good.
I think we're good. Thank you, everybody, for the fine questions and comments. All right. Okay. Now, if you win on Saturday, I guess it's, what is it, the 4th, US FIRST is going to contact you. We'll contact all eligible teams on Monday, April 6th. That might be your spring break, so you need to plan ahead for that. Somebody's going to need to reply to them. And I think if you think that you've got a good shot at going to St. Louis, I think I would probably make sure that you've got the $5,000 PO pre-made and ready to go in case that your school is going to be closed that week. Again, we are not involved in the collection or the administration of this fee. We're just kind of giving you some friendly advice as people who have tried to help people through this over the years. So I have no powers to grant special waivers or anything like that. So you'll need to work with US First on that. We have almost no influence whatsoever on that part of the process. World Championships is completely different. I can't even, yeah, I have a lot of access to their IT systems, but I have no visual, or I have no access into to the championship level. So I can't even tell you who's going or not. So there you go. Sorry about that. You'll need to deal with US First. Okay, let's see. I think we got all of this, right? Yay. All right, now we have airline tickets. So Washington First Robotics has 100 tickets. We actually have 200 tickets. We have 100 tickets that depart on Tuesday, April 21st and return on Sunday, April 26th. These are the direct flights on Alaska from SeaTac to St. Louis. We have 25 blocks of 4 tickets each that will be allocated in a lottery format. We have reasonings for doing it this way. Adrian and I have been kibitzing about how to handle getting tickets every one of our 31 teams. It turns out some of the teams already have plane reservations, so they don't need our tickets. And obviously, a lot of teams are going to be flying out of Portland, so they may not want to use these tickets. We really kind of need to send 4 people per team, so we've decided to do 25 blocks of 4 tickets each. Okay, we were only able to get flights out of SeaTac again this year. The good news is we just recently heard from Alaska that Alaska by next year will be running direct flights from Portland to St. Louis, and we'll be able to offer the same sort of pre-flight reservation to teams that want to fly out of Portland as well. So these we are on the hook as a nonprofit organization for a whole lot of money for these tickets. So we really need you guys' help in using these things up. The tickets are like $585 each, and we have 200 of them. If you do the math, if we get stuck for that, we won't ever do first again. We will be bankrupt. So we really need your help in using up these tickets. So if your team is sending 4 people but need help, okay, so let me back up a little bit. If you look at the schedule, the pits open on Wednesday. The pits open at 2 o'clock on Wednesday for up to 5 people to go in and set up your pits, get your robot unbagged, and then you end up leaving. So you can go in, set up your pits, do the initial unbagging, and then I believe you have to leave. The pits open in general at 5 o'clock. The only great way for you to actually pull this off is to either fly there on Tuesday or to do a late Tuesday night red-eye and arrive on Wednesday morning. There are no flights that we can find that leave early enough on Wednesday to get you there by 2 o'clock. Because of the time change and such. So this is what we've worked out. We also have another 100 tickets that depart on Wednesday and they return on Monday, and we're going to allocate those in blocks of 10 in lottery format, in groups of up to 10. We'll tell you the process for that here in just a second. So we're hoping that this is of high value to you guys, and we really do thank Alaska Airlines for allowing us to do this without putting down a large cash deposit. But on the other end of that, we are responsible for paying for those tickets. So we need your help in using these up. It's the best flight out of Seattle. It goes straight to St. Louis. You hop off. It's great. Okay? So that is where we are on airline tickets. Now here's how to use them. Come on, computer. There we go. So by 9 a.m. on Monday, April 6th, you need to send an email to Adrian with the following. In the subject line, St. Louis Airline tickets. We need your team number, the mentor contact and cell phone, or daytime contact phone in case we need to call you to clarify anything.
Well, and this is being passed along to Alaska Airlines, yes. And so Alaska Airlines will be contacting the person whose information I pass along. So it's important we have a good number so that if they run into problems, they can get a hold of you.
Yep. Okay. So if you would like Tuesday tickets, tell us how many. You can ask for up to 4. And then if you would also like Wednesday tickets, you can request up to 10. You know, if you only need 8, say 8, and we'll see what we can do about allocating those to someone else. Okay. The way this will work is everybody who is asked for tickets on Tuesday, we will everybody goes into the same list. We will use a randomized function using an Excel spreadsheet, and we will sort that by that randomized number and the top. And we will use up all the tickets, basically. We are not going to give you less than, if you've asked for 4 tickets, we're not going to give you 3 tickets. Is that right, Adrian? Is that good?
That is correct. Yeah. We might, when I email you to confirm that you got your 4 tickets, if I have extras available, I might offer extras. Yeah. Depending on how many people respond, but you won't get less than 4 or less than 10 unless you request that.
Yep. Okay. We want to turn this around just as quickly as we can for you so you can make other plans. So 9 a.m. Monday, April 6th, Adrian is going to work her butt off and get that list generated and sent out by 11 a.m. on Monday. So she only gets 2 hours. So we'll bring her a Starbucks or something in the morning, or she doesn't like Starbucks.
Yeah, a non-Starbucks.
A non-Starbucks. Now, you will need to be prepared to pay for those tickets within 48 hours. The tickets are going to cost about $585 each. It is the standard full fare for a St. Louis ticket that is a couple of weeks in advance. You will find that tickets are going to be very scarce on all airlines trying to get to St. Louis from Seattle and Portland. I really hope that we can get all 31 teams there. We're going to use up almost all the airlines, all the reasonable airlines. So anyway, that is what we know about those. And again, we really do appreciate Alaska Airlines helping us out with this. None of the other airlines have been willing to help to this degree. They all wanted us to put up the $200,000 and some up front for all these tickets. And Alaska was very, very gracious in allowing us to do it without any money up front. And so thanks to them for being gracious and professional and understanding what it is that we're doing. I think they're going to end up being a great sponsor one of these days. Or they already are, but a great partner, but I think we're hoping they'll be a sponsor of ours soon. Okay? All right. I hope I didn't belabor that too much. Is this making sense? If you've got any questions about this, feel free to ask. All right. Hotel information about St. Louis. We have nothing to do with the hotels in St. Louis. You can visit the US First website, look in the events, travel arrangements, and to find a hotel. We apologize. We are not travel agents. We did the airline ticket thing because we know how much of a hassle it can be. So we're willing to help out that far, but we're not travel agents. Sorry, folks. You'll need to figure this one out on your own. So US First has a list of hotels. You're welcome to stay anywhere you would like in the St. Louis area. First has actually worked out deals with some of the hotels. I'll let you figure that out on your own. Okay, that's all we had to say, I believe. Wait, no, there's 2 slides left. Oh, pit shipping. Last year, we worked out a thing with US First that we could send a semi-truck. The semi-truck got there successfully, and Linden Trucking was very gracious. let us use one of their big trailers. We had to pay the driver to go down there. That was about, cost us, I think, about $11,000 round trip because it was a big truck. They got there. The union, on-site union, decided to charge first $14,000 to take the crates off the truck. And then they tried to charge our teams. So it turns out that created a huge fiasco. First had to eat the $14,000 bill, and obviously they are not too keen to do that again. So we are unable to actually send a big truck again this year. You can ship your pits via FedEx. There may be some other teams who are willing to look into driving some pits down. That's been handled by teams in the past. Skunks did it once, High-Techers did it once, so there are others. We don't have any solid plans for that at the moment. I believe somebody is asking, Michael's asking, can we use a different vendor to ship your pits? Can you use UPS or something like that? I do not believe so, although that is a great question to ask first. I believe they only allow FedEx.
I believe they only allow FedEx, and it's because of when they pull up to drop it off, there's a charge. I can't remember what that charge is called.
Drayage.
To unload at their, is it the drayage?
Yep.
Okay, the drayage charge to unload the truck is enormous.
Yep. That's what we've got at the moment, folks. Most teams across the country end up shipping their stuff via FedEx, and the charge isn't really all that bad. And you throw all your stuff in a crate. Sending the big long stuff is not quite as much fun. I don't know. We don't have any other plans for you on that one. So the sending a truck to St. Louis was a relatively new thing. We never actually did that before to like Atlanta and stuff. So many teams just do their stuff via FedEx. All right, that's where we are. How to arrange that with FedEx? If you check the shipping, if you check the administrative manual about shipping, I believe they have a little discussion in there about sending extra crates. Otherwise, it's kind of the same thing as shipping your robot. You can put together a second crate. You can address it to the same place, I believe, and you basically just duplicate the shipping of your robot with another box, but that second crate you will have to pay for on your own, and the second box you'll have to pay the drayage fees on your own. So check with FIRST to find out the details of that. Okay? Yay, that wasn't so bad. I think that's the end of it. Yay! So, this slide is for something else, but that's okay. That is my email address, kevinro@firstwa.org, and you can contact us. Or everybody's seen Adrian's email address as well, so you can send it to either Adrian or I, and we will do our best to help you out. The recordings are actually going to be on PNW first. Sorry about that. This is one of our older slides, and media crew information is not applicable to this particular conversation. So, with that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Congratulations, by the way. What an awesome year. The game turned out to be quite a bit more exciting than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a real snoozer, but I think the playoff rounds have been really exciting to watch. Your kids have been awesome. The growth in the program in terms of the quality of the robots and the quality of the teams and the experience for the kids has been really stellar since we started the district model thing. I'm really excited about it, and we look forward to seeing you all in Cheney. With that, go ahead.
Do you want to stay on for a few minutes for Q&A if people have a couple of questions?
Absolutely, but that sort of ends the formal part of the program, and so thank you all for coming, and we will we will hopefully see you in about a week or so, or see some of you in Auburn. We're running in Auburn and Philomath, new venue down there. If you guys want to watch, our web streams are very high quality. You can find the links to those on pnwfirst.org at some point. Oh yeah, and by the way, we are streaming, of course, the Cheney event, and it will be on the Red channel, for those of you who know what that is. Otherwise, we'll put links up on both of our websites. Okay. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, I like it. I like that.
Me too.
I'm still at the office. I want to go home. So dinner tonight is involved 1 Snickers, 1 Kit Kat, 1 bag of M&Ms, and 1 Nestle Crunch Bar.
Oh, you hit the snack cart.
I did. The damn snack cart that calls me every time. I had a grape.
I need to put a sign on there that says you had a grape.
We're going to have Brogan put a lock on that next time.
We are.
Well, luckily they haven't been coming back full. There's very little candy on the actual cart, so I know you guys have been hiding it from me. Thank you for that.
Just a little.
I found some chocolate under the grapes. Is actually one of the ironic places to find it. All right. Well, I think that's it. All right, I'll stop the recording and I will post this later. And good night, everybody.
Good night.